So this video is explaining how to calculate full cost pricing. So remember that under full cost pricing, prices are set to cover all of the costs, right? Including your economic cost or your profits. So there's two scenarios that you can come up, that you can come across. So one is when there is no profit target that's provided. So we'll use one example and we'll apply this for all the other scenarios here. So in this situation, let's say there is a hospital that is a new test. The hospital has an annual fixed direct cost of $30,000 and annual overhead allocation of about $10,000, has a variable cost per test of about $5, and expected volume of about 5,000 tests. Right? So what price should be set under full cost pricing? So in this case here, what I would suggest is you confirm the assumptions first. Write it down if you have to. Put it in bulleted points. That way you can visualize all the data in front of you, right? So annual fixed direct cost, the annual overhead allocation, the variable cost per test, and expected volume. This was not provided in the question, so we'll add an additional assumption here. So we don't know what the profit target is. So in this case, we'll assume that we just want to figure the minimum. So we'll set the profit target at break-even point of 0. Right? So now we can push it to the solution. So here we'll use this formula, which is essentially, the formula is essentially revenue minus your total cost. Right? That's essentially what the formula is based on. And because we don't know the profit target, let's set that to 0 for now. So in this case, to calculate for revenue, and the revenue is the full cost price times volume, or let's shorten it to price. Right? Because we don't know the volume, how many. We know the volume, and then what we don't know here is the full cost price. And then we subtract the total variable cost, and then we also subtract the fixed cost, or FC, in this representation. With full cost pricing, you also have to deduct overhead, right? So remember that the data from the top. So when you write the formula out, let's just shorten full cost price to just price. And then you multiply the price with the volume, which is 5,000 tests in this example. For the total variable cost, same, we know the variable cost is $5 per test. So that's what we'll include here, and multiply by the volume, which is 5,000 tests. Then we know the fixed cost is $20,000 and the overhead is $10,000. So essentially, this would be price per 5,000 would be your revenue, and your total costs are the ones you see here. Right? These figures here: total variable cost, your fixed cost, and your overhead. Once you have that filled out, you can just see the formula. So make the shorter P represents price, because make it easier to write down. So 5,000 P, or if you're comfortable, doesn't make it wrong, write it down, 5,000 price. I just prefer to use short symbols and follow this, recalling my algebra. And so 5,000 P minus the product of 5 times 5,000 is 5,000, minus 20,000 minus 10,000 equals 0. So at this point here, you have 5,000 P minus 65,000 equals 0. Right. So remember, anything you do on the left-hand side of the equation, is also something you need to do on the right-hand side of the equation. So in this case here, we want to remove the, we want to transpose the 55,000 to the other side. Or if you want to write it down in the long way, is essentially what you see here. So we are adding 55,000 to each side of the equation, right? Equals 0 plus 55,000. At the end, you would have minus 55,000 plus 55,000 is 0, right? So 1000p plus 0 equals 55,000. Or in short, it's this. So the same principle, anything you do on one side, do this the other side. So here we want, so that we can get the value for P, we just need to divide 5,000p with 5,000 equals to 55,000 divided by 5,000. And that's how you arrive at the value of the level. Now, so this example is if you don't know the profit target. What if you know the profit target? So the exact same scenario, but this time we know the profit target of 150,000. So in this case here, we use the exact same formula, the exact same approach, except that we replace 0 with 150,000. Right? This example here, we were using 0. So the exact same situation. So we're just, again, write everything down. And it would be the exact same on the left-hand side, the exact same result where you have 5,000p minus 25,000 minus 20,000 minus 10,000. But here it's again 150,000. And completing the formula, we'll end up with 5,000p equals 25,000. Right? How we arrive here, obviously it's the same as what we explained earlier, where anything we do on the left-hand side, we replicate on the right-hand side. So here we're adding 55,000 to eliminate this. We're also adding 55,000 here. And that's how we arrive at 25,000. So for this one, we just need to divide 5,000 from the left-hand side of the equation and divide this with 5,000, which gives us the price of 41, right? So in this case, the full cost price is $41. So this is how you would be calculating your full cost price. Maybe you would come across a scenario where there's no overhead included, right? So in this example here, it would be largely the same again, except that we don't include the overhead, which in the previous formula was $10,000. So that's all we need to do if there's overhead involved, included in the data. So same scenario where we know that they want to target 150,000, but they don't have any overhead, right? So if you follow the equation, you would arrive at a solution of P is equal to 39 for the price. The full cost price is $39.